I like North Face.
Dude, North Face is a good company.
North Face boots.
North Face is a fire. It's just a fire branding company.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I feel that.
Well, speaking of fire brands and company, bro, please, like, let's just take a step back, man. Like, try if you can to describe to me, like, your art, like, to someone who doesn't know you, hasn't met you. How would you describe your art to them?
That's a really crazy question because I've never been asked that in that way.
Take your time.
I think a lot of it has to do with like even like the title of the show that's coming up is One, and it's literally like we're just reciprocating everything we see and do in our own way, and like we choose to like do that, and that's for me. It's like every day is art to me. Like the people I meet, the communication within each other, like language itself, and everything we see. There has to be someone out there that like documents it in the way that is like a different way that you're not used to, and I feel like I try to do that a lot of times because I do see what people go through, and like just from my perspective, and like we're all in my own way saying this of just like one with each other, and like
Right.
I get to learn a lot through others of myself, and I think I only make art because I get to connect with people who see it, and they like ask me about it.
Dude, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, it's finding that singularity in it, that one, if you will.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I think it's just like it's my way of like connecting with people, and I try to live it as much as possible and help people through art because it is therapy to some, it's like business to others, but all around it's like always going to be a personal interpretation, and like I get to make something and people get to interpret it their own way, and that's why it's crazy when you ask me because like I don't really know, like sometimes it just comes to me and I just want to like express it and like get it out.
I hear that.
And other times it's like I do want to make art for other people, but it is all for other people because I get to share with them.
And I guess it's kind of going into like you said it leads people to ask the questions. It's kind of inviting. So it leads to that introduction of who you are, like what you stand for, like your style. Talk to me about like more about what all that means in developing your style, like to tell that to people and to get that invitation going, like get that narrative going. How did you, like, what made you what about that just put it on the paper? Like, how did that develop into the style that you call your own?
I think it's all about what you have around you. And Denver was, like, my calling since I was, like, 13 years old. Since, like, I, like, visited and I was on Spear. I was, like, I stayed at, like, 16th Street. So, like, I got to experience it when I was, like, a younger kid.
They're right there off of where, okay, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
Like, that's a nice...
So, like the Walgreens over
Yeah,
there.
man. Hell yeah.
So I stayed up there, and I got to see, like, different people. Like, I'm from the East Coast, and I don't think my art comes from there by any means because everyone's very traditional, and I always seem to, like, break those boundaries and, like, isolate myself because I was myself, whereas everyone would just, like, follow the same, like, sports suit or, like, business opportunity as far as like being a lawyer or like being in the medical profession.
A lot of that.
So I just took the leap to like move to Denver after visiting once and just seeing like what people are about here, and it just rubbed off on me. So I get to express myself in more of like a metaphysical way, like as far as like the symbols I put in my art, but it's really about the influences of the people that are here in Denver. And
I love that.
I want to share that with the world too.
I love that. Like you almost are able to encapsulate in your own interpretation of the beauty that comes with this city. I mean, I can remember my first visits and the feelings that you get, the new perspectives that you can get here, that you can't always get from where you're from. I mean, I think that's what a lot of people who aren't from here find so valuable in a city like this, and it's able to hone into their craft, or they're able to hone into their craft with that new interpretation, with those new feelings, those new inspirations with the people from this place. and this community like is very welcoming to that and able to lift you up to be able to be your fullest. So to be able to transcribe that in your art, it's very easy to see that. Talk to me like about the eye. Where'd that come from? Like,
I really just started drawing like symbols that like were I was trying to draw a mouth, but then I was like trying to draw an eye too.
right? Because sometimes I do see a mouth, sometimes I see an eye, and you do kind of interchange them with the characters that you have. I didn't mean to cut. I didn't mean to.
Oh, it's all good.
But like, so you were starting to make a mouth, you said, and then
Yeah, I just drew like different variations of like something that's recognizable that I can use in every piece, but not get like trapped into the same thing each time.
I love
and it
that.
seemed like an eye, like I might get trapped, or like a mouth, I might get trapped, or like there might be like overlap between the two. But I ended up using like normally like two sets of the same thing, so it could be interpreted as either an eye or a mouth, and like just goes back to the duality of like seeing and like speech are both like their own type of communication.
oh, I love that.
And like you feel that too within like art, because like it speaks for itself, but you also need to
Wow.
be there to experience it, or otherwise like it won't be there to see.
That's fire, bro. Like, I didn't even, and when you just look at the, when you look at it at face value, you know, I have my own ideas of what the eye means and what the mouth means, but to hear it from your perspective, and that's very telling to be able to connect with your art. Yeah, wow. I didn't even know that, so I'm like taking that in myself. Give me 1 second here. Well, I want to fill up some things before I get into that next question.
Okay.
So, going back to the idea of one, what is your biggest goal moving forward with your art? Like, what is your biggest objective on your docket right now? Like,
It's like a hard thing to like put together, but just togetherness, like in every form. Like I'm only the person I am because of I'm indebted to like the many generations that lived before us, and that we're able to connect and like unify so that I exist and that you exist. So I feel like I'm like always working towards being a person that's like offers anything a person might need, as far as something that like is a resource that they don't have available right now.
I really do feel that.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, I can relate wholeheartedly to that with my mission, with our house's mission, with all that. If there was one thing that you wanted to be remembered for in your art, you speak about generational things and generational influences just briefly, what would you want to be remembered for?
I just probably just being an honest person that cares about people, because like art makes me do that, because I have to open my eye to other art and other ideas and energies, and sometimes I might think like something is trash and like it's valued at this face value of like millions of dollars, and like it's just because I don't have that personal connection with it. So like just creating a personal connection with people and like just learning the most I could so I can pay that forward is really the goal. And like that's not going to change anytime soon.
I love that. Well, man, hey, listen, I appreciate you for like taking the time out to talk to me briefly, man. And I'm very excited for the show. And yeah, man, I'm excited for everything you got going on, bro. I really appreciate you.
I'm super excited too.
Oh yeah, man.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, dude.
Yeah.
When is the show again?
Next Friday.
Next Friday.
Should have asked that.
And we'll put it in.